Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Purple Rain Minute here on podcastjuice.net. My name is Michael Dean, and joining me today is KaNisa. How are you?
Good. Happy to be here.
All right. And also we are joined by Mr. Big Sexy and Saxer. How are you?
Doing well, getting my film on.
All right. So we are watching, this would be taking us to the fourth minute of the movie. And we've got a lot to unpack here, of course. So, first of all, for me, this starts with Prince. We're going back to the performance of Let's Go Crazy and Prince, soloing. It just, this is, to me, what makes the movie special is the performances and just the magnetism that Prince displays here. You can't help but not get sucked in. I mean, when the camera's on him and he's on stage doing his thing, it's nothing like it. All his little moves here just captivate me. He's got on so many different levels. He's got so many different types of energy going on. There's a sexual energy. There's a male energy. There's music energy. There's so much going on. This guy, it seems to be just doing it as if it's like was born to do it. It's a funny thing to say, but it's like it's not trying hard. It doesn't seem like he's trying hard, and he's just killing it. I remember watching this back in the day, and I'm not ashamed to admit, I had my tennis racket, you know what I'm saying? we knew all the moves. My sister, she was like very young at this time, but she would always be Wendy. I would be Prince, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but we would do this whole thing, man. When they jump in the air, it's just great, man. Dude is killing it. Let me just do a little bit more, and then we'll talk about it. Of course, and again, as I mentioned earlier, the fact that they are lip singing and they're actually performing, they're acting here, speaks volumes that again you believe this. They playing it live in your mind. There's no question that this is not synced up properly. Apollonia, we can go back to Apollonia. Now this is the funny thing. She's in the room with the manager dude. What hotel? Maybe this is an old school thing. What hotel did the desk clerk go upstairs and you did a walkthrough? Like before they gave you the key. Like, is it that dingy up in there? Like, I don't know if I want this. And he's like, bitch, you want this thing? Going,
Nah, it kind of looked like he was saying, man, this is the best. That's all we got. Take it or leave it. Like,
Yep.
Shit, sorry.
She's just kind of like reluctant.
He's like, I know it ain't shit, but
but where that bread at? Where that money? And then listen, my man, this could have won. If I'd have wrote this, it'd have been a different kind of movie. It probably got banned. But I'm like, damn, she got her. What is she wearing? I'm like, man, she looked like a she looked like one of the X-Men or something.
Well, actually, I made a note about that because she doesn't seem to have much luggage. She has her purse and maybe one other bag. And I'm going to specifically pay attention to what she wears through this movie to see if she basically wears the same outfit every day.
Because I know one thing she wearing at Cleveland. It's just like, yeah, get my titty out. It's like, okay. She got, what's like a red earring or something?
Yeah. Look like a fishing lure, but yeah.
And it's like, okay. And, again, we jump back to the kid. But
he does look like a villain.
Yeah, don't you look like a mutant?
The Black Queen of the Hellfire.
There you go. But one of the standouts of this minute to me is, again, Mr. Morris E-Day. Listen, there's so much game on display here and so much confidence because he visualizing himself as a Mac, as a superstar, though he ain't right now. Right? You couldn't tell him he wasn't because he comes out his apartment clean as fuck. He doing his nails and his expression like, shit, ain't nobody tell me nothing. Where this nigga at? And Jerome, and I don't know the relationship, and I'm not meaning any funny style, but I would love if there was a backstory to explain Jerome. Like, is that just his man in them? Because he is a loyal nigga. Like, my man's down there, and he's coming out cars all ready for you, boss. And my man, he come darting down this, like he dashes down the stairs like paparazzi is just on him and tap tap tap. But if you really, he's doing it very gracefully, like, tap 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 tap, whoosh. And then Jerome, he just has that, whoosh, slammed it. I was like, these niggas, but ain't nobody there. But I'm like, you know what? They gonna be stars. They like, goddamn it, we gonna act like we the shit. And the car was clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just give them brothers props, man. It's a hilarious moment, but it's very telling of their characters, actually.
Okay, you can give them props, but you gotta clown for that tiger print jacket, whatever the hell that was.
Whoa,
with the matching tie.
That was pimped out,
I
man.
disagree. That jacket was clean, man.
Yeah.
It was clean, but it was hella ratchet. Come on.
No, I can't give you that one. I can't give you that one.
Yeah, Morris was a boss, man. He was on. I mean, it's that aesthetic that we see that is still prevalent today in hip hop and things. There's always that Big Willie, the boss dude, homie. We always got to project that image. Oh, yeah, I'm running shit, nigga. Like, I'm a boss. He was an early boss. You know what I'm saying? He was. You know what I mean? Like, excuse my language. He was in rich, right? Because he still live in an apartment, but they got this Cadillac. But I'm saying, like, they was like, yeah, I'm gonna be clean. At least my clothes gonna be tight. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking good. And so I tip my hat to the confidence of Morris Day and the loyalty of Jerome, because a lot of brothers not gonna play that position where they waiting
That's
outside
right.
for their man to come down. They're like, nigga, you don't get your ass down. so shout out to Morris and Jerome. But anyway,
I'm
go
sorry, I
ahead.
got another question. This
Go
might
ahead.
be be before my time, but what was up with the jacket just over the shoulder and not actually his arms in
Come
the
on,
sleeves?
man.
Man.
I'm asking.
That
I don't
was
know
the
nothing
style,
about
dog.
that.
That was that boss style, mafia.
That's how it was, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Do your Googles, my nigga.
That's half the idea of wearing a trench coat or an overcoat, just to be like, boom, yeah, what's up? What's up? Okay, I'll say it. I've done it in court.
There you go, play.
Walked in late. How you doing, Your Honor? Like, oh, goddamn.
It's
Sex is clean today. That's
yeah.
right. Let's get it on.
It's a pimp cake, man.
It is a pimp cape. It is.
That's what it is. Go back and look at them. We mentioned. Go back and watch the movie The Mac. You will see a lot of that fashion.
You watch
Actually,
the
both
Mac,
of them
you
have a
watch
lot of the
them
same fashion.
gangster movies, man.
Yeah.
That's how it is. When you rolling, you walk in and make your entrance. Like, yo, what's
Youngin.
up?
Now I bet you if he had skinny jeans on, you'd be like, lit. No, I'm just playing.
No.
Wait, no, I have a follow-on question.
Get out
to
of here
that.
with that. And besides, Prince was
So-
rocking skinny jeans.
Hilarious. Go ahead.
So
Ken.
follow-on question. So this is 84. They're in their 20s. So I always like in my mind, Morris always seemed much older to me, the way that he presented himself. So if you're 26, 27, 28, actually not even that old, 26, 24, you're still dressing like that and thinking you're cool back then?
Well,
Yeah.
again, remember in the context of when this movie came out, baggies and all of that was the fashion in the streets, and that came from Morris and them, prior to this movie. So he was really just in that aesthetic that we know the time for, and that they were very popular for. Because I don't know if you remember Big Sex. I'm sure you remember that when everybody was wearing baggies.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yes.
mean,
That was
that
all
was-
Morris.
Yeah,
all
that
Morris
all
in-
came
in
from
time.
early. That's the only kind of thing I knew about Morris. It was more of a fashion thing that kind of was really big in the streets. Oh, you got your baggies, man. You know that.
So for those of us who are 12, can you please explain what
Ooh.
these are?
Well,
I was going to ask too.
at the
Where?
time, okay, let's get a time machine here. Back in 82, 83, that was a time where Jordache, Sergio Valente, Calvin Klein, all the designer jeans had taken over. Here comes Prince and Morris. Oh no, that's not gonna work with us. Baggy pants are like the old school 50s slacks, baggy with the pleats on them, and they flare down inside towards your shoes and ankles. Very roomy for Ronald likes his freedom. Ain't nothing like a fresh pair of baggies.
Maybe think of you imagine a zoot suit, but
Yeah.
take away the hat and the big coat, but the pants that they
Okay.
wore.
Yeah.
And you had to
Okay.
have
Not
your shit
quite
pressed.
as baggy as that, but that
Yeah.
visual, yeah.
And you had to have them
Say
pressed.
baggies. I'm thinking about gangster sagging.
Right.
No.
Context, right?
Different type of baggies.
There's no sack.
No, this was, you had to be clean. That's why you see them iron. I don't know. Did they show them an iron board or something? Like, cause you had to have your shit clean. Like your was pressed. And that's why when he's dressed like that, he's sort of living up that sort of image, the style that he sort of popularized.
And they put a serious dent in the jeans market because everybody had baggies back then.
Yeah, man. I remember there was actually, this store is probably still open in Seattle, but it used to be called TJ. TJ's for a man with a woman on his mind. So shout out.
The pimp store.
And that's what it is. And to this day, it's still where they have all the bright color. But I remember going in there back in the day, and they were playing. Gosh, I can't remember what that B-side was called. It was the B-side to 779311 where Morris. Tricky, where he's being interviewed by that girl.
Yep.
And I remember them playing that in there, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get some baggies. And he's like, oh, come right over here. And that was the same store where you could get your Michael Jackson pleather beat it jacket, which I also had as well. That's a different pocket. But anyway, yeah, I mean, so that's Morris Day, you know. That was the man. And then we also get to see sort of our glimpses of the revolution. And again, it's still sort of in the flashback mode. But I always thought interesting is that Dr. Fink sort of breaks the fifth wall and smiles at the audience.
Yeah, I picked that up too. But can we talk about Prince busting that whatever that move was in the mirror?
Oh, yeah.
You gotta get your rules right, man. That's
Like,
how it is.
He's like, yeah. And he was on his own more. It's like, yes, at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. And that's kind of a theme throughout his stuff. But, you know, again, we just get to see little bits and pieces of everybody. I think that's where the minute sort of ends. And you always, you know, wonder what other things we could have got with the revolution. But at least they got a nice little look there. Any other lasting comments?
Yes.
I do.
The song was not tricky. It was called The Interview. Continue.
Oh, okay. It was called The Interview.
So
They was going to light
appreciate
you up
that
in the
look at
comments on that, I'm sure. These niggas don't know what they're talking about. Go ahead.
I appreciate the look at the revolution because I appreciate the revolution for kind of, or really just this whole movie, for everybody, for the most part, being able to see themselves in it. And so when you're looking at the beginning of this movie, it's like, oh, there's someone that looks like me, or oh, that's someone that looks like me, except for me as a Black woman, but I can project on Apollonia. But I think that's really cool because then everybody can feel like they're invested and feel part of this experience, seeing a reflection of themselves here.
All right. Aunt Pooh, anything from you?
The thing that I noticed is Lisa smoking that cigarette. Kind of like, fuck, I got to deal with this shit again.
Yeah,
just her, it's like Lisa. I don't know if that was like her whole position throughout the filming or in the band, or that was just acting. But she really portrayed that like, I'm sick of this shit, and when we gonna get our music? And you can just see her right there, the way she's smoking that cigarette, where she just seemed like she just tired of something, or just something's on her mind, or she's like, fuck. It just really looked like she's just saying fuck. And just she's the only, like, everybody seems to be in the zone, and she's the only one that's just in the background, like she ready to start some shit.
You read a lot. You was reading a lot into that. Well, I guess if it was shot today, she'd have been back there smoking on that kush or something. At least it would have been the one getting blown out. Burn this nigga area. Sick of this shit. Anyway, but there's a lot of great setup here, and again, the music is bomb. Like, Let's Go Crazy is crazy, and just they're killing it, man. This is a great video. This could, it's a great montage, and there's a number of montages in this movie, but to me, this works. Sometimes it's sort of a cheat to don't do any like dialogue and just have it all sort of be just these shots and montage to move the story along. But I think in this regard, the dialogue is the song. It's the performance. That's the main character at this point, and just kind of showing everyone sort of around this world and sort of introducing everybody. I think it's a great way to open this movie. And so far, these first few minutes. definitely work. All right. Any last
Wait,
things before we wrap it up? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at this room, and it looks like the backstage of like the Tonight Show or something. You see all these big lights and all this which look like beauty supplies and whatnot, the candles. I'm just like, is that how small club setups are?
Yes.
Help me out, because
Yeah.
I've never I mean, this look like a production backstage set.
To me, just from my limited experience, I'm not trying to blow my horn, but that seems like bigger than normal. Like to be able to fit all them people, and it's got a lot of like it look like they customized it or something. Because normally there would be a
Right.
lot of shit in there like that, but it's a movie, so
One thing I want to throw in there, as this scene goes on and the band is still playing, the single for Let's Go Crazy had been out. And so we're just, grooving to it. And all of a sudden you see Prince walk to the piano and get that, ah!
yeah.
And it starts to get the little extended. We're like, what is this? Because this wasn't out
Mhm.
yet. And people are starting to freak out, like, okay, we got to have this.
Yeah.
And it took a minute for this one to come out. But when you hear it in the movie, you're like, okay, we don't have this yet. And it was like, okay, we got the extended version. Let's go. Let's get it on.
Yeah, it was one of those early moments where you almost like, don't cut away from that. I want to see what he's doing. You get to hear it, but it's almost like I always was like, God, I don't know why they didn't just keep that on the album. Like, it's ridiculous, that version. But yeah. So anyway, definitely leave us your comments, your thoughts on this minute. Is there anything that we missed that we should have got? Let us know in the comments. Share this video or audio or podcast with other Prince fans. And like I said, we're going to be banging these out. Pause every week. We're going to have episodes. So definitely stay on board with us. Hopefully we made your day a little easier to get through. We try to give you 10 or 15 minutes of something to listen to every day. But check us out on the Purple Rain Minute podcast. My name is Michael Dean. Of course, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. If you are a podcast listener, check us out on iTunes or Stitcher Radio or even the Google Play Store. You can find us there as well. Our website is podcastjuice.net. If you really want to get on board, check us out on Patreon. Just look up the Prince Podcast on Patreon. Join our Patreon page. Help us out so we can keep doing this. So with that, I will let things flow out as they do. Hey, work it like a job. We'll see you next time.